The United States Grand Prix is just around the corner, and it is going to be the most important race of the year. Why? Well, in today's video, I am going to be discussing why that is. If you enjoy the video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more F1 content. Now, let's get into the video. Yep, it is going to be the most important race of the year, as the top 4 teams are going to be bringing major upgrades which will decide how the pecking order will be for those last few races of the season. And I am going to be talking about in today's video why those top 4 teams are bringing those upgrades, and we are going to be starting with, of course, talking about Mercedes. For Mercedes, they have dropped back, it has to be said, from the top 3 teams. It looked like for a while they had actually overtaken Ferrari in terms of performance, and it looked like things were really starting to move ahead for them. But then in the last few races, it does seem to look like things have started to slip away from them once again, and they have been pretty solidly beaten by Ferrari yet again. For example, last time out at Singapore, despite starting towards the front, they managed to get beaten by Leclerc with Lewis Hamilton, and George Russell was a lap or two away from being beaten as well. The upgrade that Ferrari brought at Monza has really pushed them forward, while leaving Mercedes to think about how they can improve. They are going into their last few races now with Lewis Hamilton as a driver for them, and that means they are now a few races away from losing that vital experience that will be necessary to helping them move forward. George Russell will become the de facto number 1 driver at the team, and while he has gained a lot of experience, he is still lacking the little things that will come with time. Russell has definitely been the faster driver over 1 lap, but in race trim, he has still not got the measure of Lewis Hamilton, and that is what Mercedes are going to be losing. The new driver replacing Lewis Hamilton will be the very young rookie, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Kimi is definitely one of the fastest young drivers there is, but expect him to make a lot of mistakes. It is just natural. Max Verstappen, for example, when he moved to Red Bull, was lightning fast, but he did make a lot of mistakes. Charles Leclerc for Ferrari did the same thing, most memorably of course at Baku. So Mercedes have a few races left where they can really lean on Hamilton and his experience, and it is in their best interest to do that and make sure George Russell learns as much as possible to be able to prepare for the 2025 season, where of course Russell will be the one to lead the team. For Ferrari, their last few races have been a case of not maximising their potential. In Baku, Leclerc put it on pole position, and he was leading fairly comfortably until he lost the lead due to really being too cautious on the hard tyres initially. Then in Singapore, Leclerc had very similar pace to the top 3, but he started down the order due to Ferrari making a massive mistake when it came to tyre preparation in the garage. And this is the story of Ferrari pretty much now for 15 years. When they have the car going how they want it, they find another way to screw it up. They have a fantastic car right now, and one that looks to be working very well in race trim. They are typically pretty good on tyres, but they have struggled with 1 lap pace and qualifying. They have struggled with this all year, and they are getting better, but their next upgrades really need to try and help sort out firing up the tyres. Ferrari need to ensure that their upgrades move towards a car that Leclerc enjoys more than Sainz. It is pretty harsh to say that, but Leclerc will be in the car next year, not Carlos Sainz. Leclerc has done an incredible job this year and is continuing to do incredible work. Ferrari just need to improve the car a little bit more and really improve their team operationally. I just want to say that if you are enjoying the video so far, then I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe for more F1 content. Now though, let's get back to the video and let's talk about Red Bull. For Red Bull, it is still weird to not talk about them lastly, but they now find themselves as the second best team in the sport, and they've lost the lead of the Constructors' Championship, and it has fallen away, really not because of downforce. I still feel like Red Bull probably has the most downforce in the sport. they are still very strong at high-speed circuits, but they really struggle when that downforce comes off, and their biggest issue instead is balance. The new upgrades coming at Texas need to try and fix their balance issues more so than add in performance in terms of downforce, but that is very difficult to do. This is because it could require some large changes in terms of the suspension and chassis, which is very expensive, and they have lost a lot of budget due to one car having a fair few crashes this year. Perez has been saying for a very long time that balance is an issue. It's just Max Verstappen was able to drive around that. Now Verstappen can't do that, and it is really highlighting how they need to fix the balance, which they could struggle to do. It is why they struggle more with bumps and curbs, and sadly for them, Texas is historically a bumpy circuit. But thankfully for Red Bull, it has been resurfaced this year. Although it has to be said, a resurfaced circuit doesn't mean a smooth circuit. Finally, for McLaren, they have taken the lead of the Constructors' Championship, and they are still in striking distance of winning the Drivers' Championship, even though I do think it is unlikely. But it has to be said, they fully deserve all of the success that they have as a team, although they still need to improve themselves operationally. But with the car they have fully maximised every single upgrade, and there is no reason to suggest that will not continue. As I said earlier, I don't think they aerodynamically have the best car, but they have the most balanced car. It is a car that works in pretty much all conditions, and Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are starting to finally get the most out of it more often, which is going to be vital if they still want to win both championships this year. However, they still need to improve operationally, like I said, so they don't end up missing out on large open goals, kind of like we saw in Baku, where they didn't maximise Lando Norris thanks to a yellow flag in qualifying that I still think to this day could have been avoided by just sending Norris out a little bit earlier. So with that in mind then, what are these upgrades that they're bringing to Texas looking to try and fix for each team? Well, for Mercedes, their upgrade is going to be trying to look and fix the car in race trim when it comes to looking after their tyres. They have struggled with tyre wear and overheating the tyres, so it would be looking likely that their upgrades are going to be towards the rear suspension and also the floor to try and mitigate those issues when it comes to overheating those rear tyres. For Ferrari, they have been adding downforce with new wings and bodywork recently. In Singapore, they brought a revised front wing, which definitely looked to help, even though qualifying would have said otherwise, but we know why they weren't so strong in that instance. They have cured most of their mid-season struggles with bouncing as well, but I can see them making changes to the floor and bodywork as they look to still be focusing more on downforce. Now the balance is shifting towards a car that Charles Leclerc likes. For Red Bull, their main upgrade needs to be focusing on the balance, or lack thereof of balance so far, so I can see their main upgrades focusing towards the suspension more so than any aerodynamic changes, and potentially we could see some minor revisions to their floor. And finally for McLaren, they have a fantastically balanced car, and so for them, the changes are probably going to be more aerodynamically than anything else, which means I can see them bringing a new floor and potentially some changes to the wings, especially after what we heard after what happened in Baku, where it looks like they do need to make sure they don't have any mini DRS anymore. They have already changed the bodywork significantly earlier in the year, so I can't really see any of the changes coming to the main bodywork beyond the wings. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a little bit different to what I usually do, but like I said in my last video, I need to do something a bit different thanks to this break. Anyway, what do you guys think is going to happen? What sorts of changes can you see some of the teams bringing? In the comment section down below, please do let me know. And as always, comment, leave a like, and subscribe for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching.